So I'm going to take you through a warm-up routine that's designed to fire up the key muscles in the golf swing. But this is also designed so that you can carry this out when you're actually at the golf course or at the driving range. All you need is your golf club, which you're going to have with you obviously. There are 4 exercises or 4 drills that you're going to do, and I'm going to take you through them now. So the very first one, we're looking at rotation through the upper body, but we also want to try and fire up the glutes around the back of the hips. They're a key contributor to generating power from the ground in the golf swing and allowing you to rotate through the ball. So for this first one, you're going to take your golf club, you're going to take it across the top of your shoulders and set your address position. We're looking at loading the trail leg first of all. So the idea is you're going to step out into a wide stance, try and really load that right hand side as you rotate through your upper body. And as I rotate, I can feel like I'm shifting my weight across to the right hand side, and then I'm going to push off the floor and try and drive back up to the top. So in real time, it would be step, rotate and load, and then drive back up and through. Step, rotate, load, drive back up and through, really trying to push off the floor to generate a little bit of speed as you come up and through to the top. 5 repetitions on the right hand side, just working into your rotation and feeling like that right hand side, the right glute and the right thigh are starting to do some work. We then do the same on the other side as well. Okay, so you take a step across, stride out to the left hand side, turn and load into that left hip, draw back up and through. So it's stride, load and rotate, drive back up and through to the top. And again, 5 repetitions on the left hand side. That should get the glutes firing, and it should help you to work on that rotational movement pattern as well. The second exercise is looking at trying to gain a little bit more mobility in your hip joint. So obviously the hip joint's a key part of that rotation movement, being able to turn into your backswing, into the right hip, being able to rotate through and turn into your lead side on the left side for a right-handed golfer. Obviously left-handed golfer, it's the opposite movement. This is called hip swings. Again, just use a golf club. Set up so that the golf club's out in front of you, so you use it as a base of support. I like to go with my other hand on my hip, but you could go with your arms out to the side. And the idea here is that we're just letting the right leg swing across the front of the body. So as I come out to the side, I let my hip open up slightly. As I come across the body, it closes down slightly. So we've got external, internal rotation. We do 10 repetitions on the right leg. We then switch it across and do same on the other side. So again, I like to go hand on the hip, one hand on the club, and just work on slowly building that hip swing movement pattern. Now the key on this one is that you don't want the rest of your body, you don't want your upper body to start trying to rotate, and you don't want to lose your balance as well. So start quite small with the movement. So just go for some quarter swings and then build it into half swings. And then as you start to get a little bit more dynamic, that's when you'd really start to open up the hips. If you struggle to hold your balance using a golf club, then if your golf club has nets that you can hit into, then normally you'll find there's a frame around it as well. So if, for example, this was the frame, you could take your hands up against it and you can just work on your hip swings going across the front, or any sort of surface that you can just put your weight up against to give you a little bit of support. So now that we've got the lower body fired up and we've worked on those rotational patterns, we also want to look at trying to free up and fire up what we call the lats. So the lats connect in from the base of your arm here, all the way down and through, down through the back into your lower back and your pelvis. Now they play a key role, particularly in your backswing, to create that height and the width that you would need to get on the right sort of plane. So the way that we would fire these up and the way that we try and get them working first of all is take an overhand grip, set your address position, so set your stance, a little bit of a tilt forwards into it, and then you're trying to brace your abs as you reach up overhead, control back down to your thighs. So I'm almost trying to pull the golf club apart a little bit to create some tension, and then from here reaching it up and over and controlling it back down to the top of the thighs. And again, 10 to 15 repetitions is going to really help you to create a little bit of height and width, and that should transfer into more height and width in the backswing and as you transfer through the golf ball as well. Now this final exercise is really designed to create that sort of explosive power in the body. So your quads, your glutes, and the lower body are the big drivers of generating force off the floor, being able to rotate and hit through the ball and generate a higher swing speed. So this next exercise is a squat knee drive. You set your stance as if you were addressing the ball first of all. All I want you to do is come down into a half or a shallow squat, okay? So just think about trying to load and then coming up and through on a knee drive. So in real time, this would look like a squat, knee drive, squat, knee drive. We're pushing off the floor, trying to make sure that right hand side is doing the work for you. You do 5 reps on your right hand side, you then do the left hand side as well. So set your stance into your squat, knee drive, squat, knee drive. The key on this one is you don't need to come too far into the squat, okay? In the golf swing, it's only a partial squat that you would use in the swing. So you only need to do a partial squat in the warm-up. So something like here to here will work perfectly. 5 repetitions on each leg. You should feel like it gets your heart rate up a little bit, but it shouldn't wear you out, okay? That's the whole idea of a warm-up. Fire up the key muscles, get them ready to actually generate speed in the golf swing, but make sure it doesn't actually wear you out too much to start off with.